Look at the money in your pocket. A note. A few numbers on a screen. You work for it. You worry about it. You lose sleep over it. But here's a question almost nobody can answer. Where does it actually come from? Who makes it? And what if I told you that most of the money in the world was never printed at all? It was simply typed into existence, out of nothing. Stay with me, because once you see this, you can't unsee it. This isn't a history lesson. Understanding where money comes from explains the three things that quietly run your whole life. Why prices keep going up, why saving a loan never makes you rich, and why the people at the top stay at the top. Schools spend years teaching you the kings and the wars, and almost 0 minutes on the one system you'll use every single day. So let's fix that. In the next few minutes, you'll understand money better than 95% of adults. Let's start where everyone thinks money comes from. Ask most people where money comes from, and they'll say, the government prints it. And sure, somewhere there's a building printing physical notes and coins. But here's the first shock. In most countries, physical cash is only about 3 to 8% of all the money that exists, 3%. So if you could gather every coin and every note on the planet, you'd be missing almost all of it. The other 90-something%, it's just numbers, digits on a screen. It has no body, you can't touch it, and it didn't come from a printer at all. So if the government isn't making most of the money, who is? Here's the part they really don't teach you. When you walk into a bank for a loan, let's say you borrow £10,000 for a car, you imagine the bank reaching into a vault, taking someone else's savings, and handing it to you. That's not what happens. The bank doesn't move existing money. It creates new money. It simply types 10,000 into your account. That number didn't exist a second ago. No vault was opened. No saver lost a penny. The loan itself created the money. This isn't a conspiracy theory. The Bank of England has said it in plain writing. The majority of money in the modern economy is created by commercial banks making loans. Read that again. Banks don't lend out money that exists. They create money when they lend, so every time someone, somewhere takes a mortgage, a car loan, a credit card, new money is born. And when they pay it back, that money disappears again. Okay? So regular banks create most of the money, but somebody has to sit above them, controlling the tap. That's the central bank, the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the European Central Bank. They create a special kind of money, the money that banks themselves use. And they can create it in enormous amounts with a few keystrokes. You've heard the phrase printing money. In 2020, central banks created trillions this way, not with printers, but by typing new money into existence and using it to buy things like government debt. It even has a polite name so it doesn't sound scary, quantitative easing. But strip away the fancy words and it's the same magic trick, new money, from nothing, at the top of the pyramid. So if money isn't gold, isn't really paper, and can be created from nothing, what is it? Here's the truth that ties it all together. Money is just trust. It used to be backed by gold. You could swap your note for real metal. That ended in 1971. Since then, your money is backed by one thing only, the promise that everyone else will accept it tomorrow. That's it. A 20-pound note is valuable because you believe the next person will take it, and they believe it too. Money is a shared story we all agree to believe. And underneath that story, almost all modern money is actually debt. It's created when someone borrows, and it vanishes when they repay. The whole system runs on IOUs that we've agreed to treat as real. Now here's why this actually matters for your life. Number 1, inflation. If money can be created from nothing, then more of it is always flowing in, and the more money exists, the less each pound in your pocket is worth. That's why everything slowly gets more expensive, and your savings quietly lose value just sitting there. Number 2, this is why simply saving cash never makes anyone rich. You're holding the one thing being constantly created and watered down. The people who get ahead don't hoard the watered-down stuff. They own things that can't be printed, businesses, property, assets. And number 3, the entire system needs people to keep borrowing. New loans create new money and keep everything moving. So the next time someone tells you to Just work hard and save. Remember, you now understand the game they never explained. The money isn't scarce. It's created. The real question is, who creates it? And who ends up holding it? So, where does money come from? Not a vault. Not really a printer. It comes from loans, from trust, and from a few keystrokes at the top of a pyramid most people never see. You just learned the rules of a game you've been playing your whole life. But there's a bigger question hiding inside this one. If money is created from nothing, why can't you just have more of it? Why is it still so hard to get? That's exactly what we break down next. Draw yourself into the story, subscribe, and let's keep pulling the thread.